When I first bought the truck, I didn't realize how useful it would be when it came to also being able to transport the thing we use most of, which is flour. You can't really put flour in anything smaller than this with the amount of flour we use. We're only picking up a half order today of flour because we still have plenty of our other blend, and it's going to be a significant amount. Typically, when you start getting into flour for your baking operation, you really have to start being able to buy by the pallet to take advantage of better costs. So as your bakery operation scales from your home kitchen into your garage and beyond, consider at least getting to the point that you can move a pallet of flour for a given period. You'll be able to get a far better price and far better grain, similar to the type of flour that we've been discussing here all day. It would not have been possible for us to negotiate a relationship with all of these folks in this local grain community if we weren't buying in higher volumes. It is very difficult to transport your own flour, even though they're going to put it all neatly onto the truck. It's getting it off the truck that becomes a dance. That's another thing I would suggest if you ever find yourself buying a truck. Make sure you get a lift gate, otherwise it's almost not worth it. So today, being here has just been incredible. This has been a long time coming to give you guys the supply chain side before everything happens in the bakery. We're in the middle of this facility right now. They call this the Great Hall, and sometimes they put on sort of grain-related events or farm-related events or mill-related events. If there's a future grain gathering, this might be a good place for it, I hope. But over here on this side is actually where the wheat is before it hits the mill. So it's field to grain cleaning, this is called grain R&D. So these guys are all connected to the farm and connected to sourcing from other farmers that are also growing wheat. Having both of these businesses across a hall from one another is incredible. On another occasion where we were here, I picked up my flour order and walked across the hall just to say hello because I know everybody here. And all of a sudden I was trying a new malted wheat that they were making for breweries in town, and now that malted wheat is a part of our flour blend. Diego, go ahead and leave this as it is. It's going to be fine on the truck. I'll just break it down on site. So this is fine. Normally we don't take such large amounts of flour on one pallet because each of those bags weighs 50 pounds. Times 50 is 2,500 pounds, and I am deathly afraid for my lift gate, but we'll just unload. I've got to restack it all anyway. It'd be nice if I could just roll it all in, but we have to rotate, so we have to unstack and do that anyway. At least we don't have to do the crazy push thing that we always do this time. Diego and I always do a dance on this stuff. I've picked up to 4 pallets at a time here, and so we have to use the first pallet to push the next one, and we just keep pushing them back further into the truck while I'm actually reversing sometimes, so it's a fun little dance. Today we got to see the whole process of how the flour is milled, and to sort of just do a recap, this is all flour that has been blended. So what Jeff was talking about is that the mill has a relationship with an industrial mill that provides kind of the base structural flour for us. And then the mill also does their own farming locally in the community, grain cleaning, and then finally milling here on site. And that represents those whole grain, heritage grains that we're sort of blending, like Jeff was saying, between the Ford F-150 and the Tesla, finding a happy medium and really trying to just make the best flour that we possibly can. So you saw that the whole process was done on stone, which is important. That's the way that our ancestors were milling flour. So in ancient Egypt, women used to actually do this process by hand, actually bending over stones and grinding the wheat berries. So it's a little bit easier on Diego now than that. But nonetheless, the flour that we're getting, like Diego was saying, is rich in nutrients. Jeff was also saying that flavor is equivalent to the nutrients that are in it. If you're watching this and you don't realize the differences in flavor between flours, there's so much opportunity to discover the nuance of flavor between flours. And so if you're still buying grocery store bread, you're missing out on that. If you go to a farmer's market nearby and you start buying bread and the people selling can't answer these type of questions about flour, keep finding bakers until you find somebody that has something to say about the flour they use, that something to offer you about why it tastes different, what are they doing special, why are they proud of the flour that they're actually baking with. I have hours and hours that I could talk to you about on this, because we're really happy to be working with these fine people here and making up a part of the local grain economy. This is great to be here today, and hopefully there will be more field trips in the future.